Hey guys, Joe here, and today we are taking a look at a settlement. This is not Taffington Boathouse because there's a lot of changes I made since I said I was going to put that one up next because I figured out how to do a lot more stuff using some of the mods. Because of that, I've decided to show Oberland Station. Oberland Station is done, and it's more of a way station settlement. It's not even really a settlement in my mind, it's more of a transitional place for people to stay. Let's go ahead and pop up into the air first thing here. And as you can see, I have made it kind of almost like a fort encampment. Kind of like the castle, slightly different as the walls don't elevate nearly as high, but it is still kind of a protected settlement, pardon me. I'm going to go ahead and go back into first person mode and we will take a look at it with daylight, but before I do that, go ahead and check this out. I'll do a flyover of Oberland Station when you first see it in the game so you can see how drastically I've actually changed it. So here's an aerial overview of Oberland Station when you first start playing the game. I haven't claimed the settlement, this is an early save, but I just wanted to show you that all they have is one little building. Otherwise, it's a fenced-in piece of farmland, and that's it. So it's kind of small, doesn't do anything, and I believe what I did to it was the maximum use of available space. So let's go back to the build. So here is the main entrance into Oberland Station. As you can see, there are elevation changes as well in this settlement, however, only 2. I did that on purpose. When you first come upon the settlement, you'll notice that it is very kind of whatever happened, and the building that was still standing was the only thing left, so the folks were dealing with the elevation changes as they went through. I went ahead and I have to fix where some of these are clipping through. Since I exited and came back, they popped through the wall here, but using Place Everything, I had these inside the wall to make it look like one giant brick wall. And what it does is it separates the settlement from the surrounding areas, also gives a little bit of protection to the people inside, because the guard station, which is over there, and this doorway or bridgeway or walkway, however you want to look at it, are the only 2 ways into the settlement that you can actually reach without, having jump set to a higher level. You could potentially get in over there, but there's plenty of protection. But let's start back over here and we'll take a look. You'll see I have 2 guard stations manned at the moment. I have a total of 3 guards, but one has disappeared somehow. The 3rd guard would normally be sitting here or patrolling around. This is a mod that repaired the barns and the warehouses, so the walls are no longer damaged, and it turned them silver, and the barns are all that color. But it looks good, it looks modern, which is what I was going for with all these builds anyways. However, I did have to do some roof mods because there are holes in the roofs even after they're repaired. But if you just take a roof tile and place it using Place Everything, you can actually cover the hole. Coming inside the building, I actually locked these doors with a 100 lock using console commands, so that they can't actually open it, and that way this is just living space. I've got a couple of beds in here, one of them sleeps in the main building, but a couple of beds, dressers, lamps, foot lockers, a desk, and using CWSS and modular kitchens, I have working refrigerator, stove, and sink in here. Since it's kind of its own building, I wanted them to have their own eating area, as well as CWSS Redo, or Redux, however you prefer to say it. I installed a working sink, mirror, 2 shower stalls, and a toilet. One thing that's different from this and the other settlements is that most of the settlers are sharing bathrooms. I have it set so they only have to share a few each, but that is one of the main differences. Additionally, I put in this room using just the regular tools that the game comes with, and I was able to snap these walls in here and create the doorway. Otherwise, this is just a completely open barn, and I wanted a separated bathroom that wasn't, obvious. Coming out here, another thing I did was I used the roof tiles, again from the repaired barns, to create an awning. You have to use Place Everywhere to place the first one, But once you've done that, they do all snap to the first one. And I did that and brought them around the edge here. And then I used concrete pillars to kind of push through. That's the only place where you see the major clipping, but from this angle, they just look like they're concrete pillars holding up the awnings, which looks good in my opinion. On the outside here, I do have an ice cooler, and it is functional. Figure folks are out here working in the shop, so they might want to cool down some drinks. I do have a weapons dealer. I'm not sure if I have this one assigned or not. Let's take a look at my... yeah, it is actually assigned. I just don't know why they're not there. But let's take a look at the settlement specs. I have 15 people currently, 18 food, which is plenty for 15 people, 100 water, 650 power, defense is at 176, and 22 beds. As I said, I think of this as a transitional settlement, so people can come and go all the time, and those beds are for temporary residents. Happiness is on its way up. I'm sure when I add a few more features down the line, it'll get even better. Here you have a cooking stove on the outside. It's big flame and a pot, so I didn't want to have that inside anywhere. And it looks good just sitting out here. On this side, you have the clinic. It's a separate building. I was looking for a place to put it inside. It just didn't really fit, and I had used up all the first floor space, so I kind of built my own building. It also helped me hide another graphical glitch. Wow, my words ain't coming out too good today. And it allowed me to create an individual building just for the clinic. Again, these are manned. This one is manned by one person, and inside the surgery chair is also normally manned, but I think all the characters, when the settlement redrew, clipped. So they're probably on the roof. I did use do-it-yourself to put down shelving that you can decorate. These do work as containers as well, but they're decorated to look like medical supplies, some medical books. That's how I look at them anyways. The doctor needs to check on things just in case they find a part that isn't normally in the human body. And then downstairs, oh, there's the doctor. She just hasn't gone upstairs. But I gave her a bathroom with a tub and a shower stall in the tub because it fit better than the standard shower stall that I normally use. Toilet, sink, and a mirror, and because of the location of the stairs, I wound up putting down curtains instead of a wall because the wall would have come to this line and it would have been impossible to walk by. So curtains are fine because she lives by herself. Yeah, go away. Go away, lady. You have a bathroom. Clean your fingernails. Up here, it's a slightly elevated platform because the ground does clip through the concrete that's there, so I just laid down one of the barn floor tiles, a rug, a dresser, a lamp, and a bed. And she does actually animate and walk up there. If she wasn't in the way, I could show you. In fact, here, let me move her out of the way. Here's a tip for you guys. If you're playing your game and somebody's blocking your way, just go ahead and click on them so you get their player ID code. Open your console and type move to player. Bingo. Now she's where she's supposed to be, so if you needed to, you can get some surgery. But yeah, as you can see, it's tall enough that you can walk up and use the bed. And I again used these. I believe they came with CWSS Redo. I think originally I said it was its own, but I couldn't find the mod in my mod list, so I'm going to say it came with the CWSS Redo. Check it out on Nexus Mod Manager. I'm sure it'll give you all the information. Oh, there's the clinic doctor. Coming down here, you can see the wall, the way the elevation changes. This is how far down the ground actually comes. That's where the railroad tracks normally would come through and continue on. I placed this doorway kind of where the railroad tracks would have kept going. And at this level, I kind of originally was going to put up a garden building and then a bunch of containers of some sort, but I decided not to because I thought this looked cleaner. Again, it's a tidy settlement. People aren't expecting to live here forever. But I have plenty of food. In fact, I can get a lot more settlers and then they can farm in here. There's, let's see, there's 5, 10, 15. So there's the ability for 45 food here. There just aren't that many settlers. And they do have lamps. One bad side with CWSS, or excuse me, Place Everywhere, is that sometimes you'll get clipping, so I'll have to fix that. You just push those a little bit back into the wall. The building is made using a lot of different components. It's not a pre-built structure, but first let's look around the outside. I hadn't really figured out what I was going to do here, but I think I've come up with a plan that will also hide this graphical glitching, or it's clipping actually, because what I did was I put the barn floor on top of the concrete pillar. And unfortunately that creates some clipping, but what I'm thinking about doing is actually laying down shipping containers, because I can get some pre-war ones, and then they'll block that entire wall, and it'll create portable living areas, so I could add a few more settlers if I want to. The wall itself, for the most part, is just one tile wide everywhere except for this front portion. I was thinking about adding a bar here, or I might actually put a couple more shops, a general store or something out here. We'll see. The water is provided by the water tower, which again provides 100 water for the entire settlement, which is more than enough. And security is taken care of by a mix of laser turrets and the 14.5 and 20 millimeter automated rifles from the PTRS-41 mod. I love that rifle. Actually, I have a suppressed one, and they do like 1100 damage with explosive ammo. But otherwise, it's very sparse and Spartan out here. One thing I did on purpose was I put no illumination on the outside of the main building. In fact, the only real outside illumination are the street lamps, and they're the only things with wires. Again, I try not to have wires in my settlements. I don't like them. I think they look a little odd in a modern settlement, so they're only where they need to be. Before we go into the building, let's talk about how I made it. Open up my workshop real quick. As you can see, the first floor uses standard walls and then a half wall. The additional floors from there all use a combination of those walls. So technically, every floor is 1.5 floors tall. They just don't look it when you combine them. So this is technically a 4-story building, but it only has 3 floors. So coming into the main building, you'll see the first floor is a shop area as well as an eating area for the settlers. That's a drink station that is obviously assigned. This is another DFEP item. It's a food synthesizer. However, there are no animations. It just looks cool, but it does increase your HP when you use it. Modular kitchens to the rescue again. I went with a goldish, yellow, orange, I guess orange since it says orange, kitchen in here to go with the wood, and I added a couple of extra counters. However, it's not turned the right way, so I'll have to fix that later, or actually move that one over here. You know what I mean. That allowed me to kind of wall off this area. It's the only area that's completely walled off on this level. Put some fans above the kitchen area. Figured it would keep smoke and any smells at bay. Bunch of steel tables for the settlers to sit at and eat. And again, I used place everywhere to shrink, and it's kind of a cool thing you can do, lamps. As you can see, these are half their normal size so that they don't take up too much room on the table, and everyone has a place to put their food. I do have a bar that is stocked, normally manned as well. They must have walked away for something. And a working jukebox. Plays tunes. I'm not sure which ones are playing on it right now because I'm not actually listening to it. Over here you have a clothing stall. I put computers on the counters. Figured they'd want to keep track of who owes who what, or who has ordered things from other settlements, and when they come in they can get told. Using do-it-yourself, I decorated some shelving units. Over here they're wood shelving units. I figured that would be for the best when you're talking clothing. Underneath these stairs, I wasn't sure what to do. I originally was going to put a couch, but it was too low for people to sit on, so I decided to just throw a couple of pallets down with some items. You've got a broken engine, broken terminal, a lawnmower, and a couple of crates. And I think that's good use of the space. This side is your general store, a little bit of everything. Very similar things here. Got a terminal there and a fully stocked bar, or fully stocked table or counter. Wow, words. Again, using do-it-yourself allows you to place items in there, and in the vanilla game nothing is there, so it kind of looks plain, but when you fill it, it looks awesome. More items over here. I figured this was crates used for shipping all the supplies, as well as a Nixie tube and a Radiation Star television that people can come and look at and see what pre-war tech looked like when it was nice. On the shelving units, I went with metal on this side. I've got some books and some storage, food, items, clutter, tools, paint, just everything the settlement needs and travelers might want to buy or sell. Using place everywhere and the extra item selection, you can actually move your workbench without it affecting the entire settlement. So that's what I did. I moved it over here. Although on second thought, I probably should have put it under there, because that entire area is too low for the animation to actually work. So what I'm going to do, oh, no, I didn't select everything. Let's see if it does it this way. Nope. I'll come back to this, but I'm going to actually switch the placement. I'm going to put the workshop there and put the bed and stuff here. But I figured this is where the custodian sleeps. I think he's actually assigned in there. But that's the first floor. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second. Second is mostly living quarters. Yep, see, there we go. There's some clipping. Let me get her down real quick. There we go. Go to work, lady. Yes, I have. Bedrooms on the second floor. It's mostly bedrooms. This is one of the few places where the entire floor is sharing 2 bathrooms. I figure this side is for the women and this side over here is for the men. And they just take turns. There are 3, 6, 10 bedrooms here, so they do have to take turns. As long as they're civil about it, should be plenty. The rooms are only 1 square wide and deep, but that's all you need for a bed, a foot locker, a dresser, and a rug. And if they bring any other items, chairs or whatever, maybe I'll go through and decorate it a little more at some point. But as you can see, I have the perfect number of items, textures, and everything where I'm still running at 60 FPS in 90% of the situations. Coming over here for some relaxation, I used the Vault-Tec mods or workshop items to put a couple of slot machines with power. And those also power all the lights in the building too, because they have huge radiuses. And over here we have a barber chair. I figured this is where you guys would want to be. Wow. Party on top of the bathroom. Everybody's invited. And just a couch for sitting. I might decorate it, put a couple more chairs and things down here. But again, I don't want people to think that this is where they're going to spend the rest of their lives. This is a transitional place to live. Third floor, more bedrooms and bathrooms, but I figured these are the nicer ones. They're a little bit wider. I didn't try to cram people here. I actually built this floor first. So again, you have a bed, a dresser, a foot locker, but each row only shares the bathroom with 2 bedrooms, and they each have their own shower stall. So technically they're just sharing the toilet. Hi there, settler. No, I'm not looking for a haircut. But yeah, as you come through, you'll also notice I went with just shower stalls. Just shower stalls. No need for bathtubs on this floor. But that's it here. And I was looking up and I put up the roof and I was like, that's a lot of room up there. What could I do up there? So I put a bar area. Up here you got a couple of different bars. They are manned, and again, using place everywhere, I push lights through the structure, and they're hidden by the posts that hold up the bar sign. So this is actually illuminated. Normally, this isn't illuminated in here. It's usually dark. A lot of fans, so a lot of airflow, and plenty of seating for all the available settlers. Another drink station that is manned, and some more slot machines. So I believe I have entertainment well covered for the settlement as well as relaxation. However, I still intend to put some busy workstation. Figure people can work off their rent or pay for their rooms by doing some extra work. I just haven't gotten around to deciding what I want the main output of this settlement to be. I do also have to put 1 railing up. I just noticed that the railing's here but not over there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the place at night. That is my thing. Jumping up on that roof is my thing, feller. So here's the outside of the settlement at night, and as you can see, it's well lit around the walking areas, but the buildings are not overly lit themselves. You can see plenty of lighting through the windows, but once we go back inside, you'll see it's not overly lit, except for the bar area, which does have plenty of lighting. But coming around, you can see the spotlights and the security weapons, all armed and ready to take intruders. I do need to put some in that corner. My reasoning for not doing so was this is so high that the chances of somebody actually getting up there from this corner were so small that I didn't bother. But I think I'm going to put them here just to round out the corners, because as you can see, I do have them on this side as well. Let's go ahead and jump back into first person. And we will drop down and take a look at the settlement or at least the building, because this is the settlement, at night. You can see that the fans and the bulb lighting do not overpower the area. Sometimes you get lighting that's too strong or everything looks too artificial. I think this looks cool like this. These street lights are connected to this box, so you can turn them on if you want additional light over here, but since it's midnight and nobody's working, I have them turned off. The second floor is well lit. Wow, there's even more of them now. I'm just going to let them stay there. It's not worth trying to get them down. And the third floor is the most well lit because obviously you have all the fans and stuff. So that's about it. I figured I'd just let my character sit here and relax and unwind from her day of traveling and killing Mirelurks. If you have any comments, leave those down below. Any questions, leave those down below. I do answer all questions and comments. If you'd like to see me do something special, let me know what that is. If you've done something special, give me a link and I'll check out your builds. If you're looking for a way to help the channel, consider becoming a subscriber. That would be awesome. I'd love to have you, and it helps out greatly. Additionally, if you look down in the description, there is a Amazon affiliate link. If you click on that and you buy anything, it helps the channel grow. I'd greatly appreciate it, and it'll allow me to do even more fun stuff, such as a couple of builds I have coming up that I now have the parts for. I'm going to get out of here. Taffington Boathouse is my next one, I promise, and I will get that out. Probably Monday, but possibly Friday. We'll see. Leave me a message. Let me know what you'd like to see. And, as always, I'll talk to you later.